welcome back to another video. It's actually Thursday evening, it's 8:15. I've just done my tempo bench session. I didn't film any of it because it's literally just some ascending tempo bench and some upper accessories, nothing crazy or super interesting. I actually went out for dinner earlier today, so I'm feeling very bloated and disgusting, and it does not help by the fact that there is a massive heat wave again. I say again, it's just been like this summer has just been crazy warm. It got up to like 34 today, I think, 35, and it's still like 28 now, and I am struggling. The reason I'm filming this is because I was just going to come on here and basically confess ahead of time that my plan to get my steps right up this week doesn't seem to be happening, and it is me to blame. I am to blame, and I'm feeling quite guilty over it. Basically, I'm at like 6,000 steps so far today. Monday, I think I did 8,500 to 9,000. Tuesday, I was well over 12,000. That was fine. Yesterday, I think I did just under 10. And today, I'm at like 6,000. And I could go out for a walk. It's too hot for a dog walk. I could get my treadmill out, and I need to edit a video, to be fair, so I might get some more steps in tonight. But essentially, I'm not going to be getting up to 12,000 today. Like, there is no chance. It's so hot, and I genuinely just feel quite gross. I did even before I went out for food. Energy today has been crazy low, which is weird as well because Azula, our puppy, actually slept all night last night, which fantastic. Hopefully that continues. I went to bed. I was actually sound asleep by the time my boyfriend even came to bed last night. I think I literally shut everything off at like 10 p.m. and the alarm went off at 6:30, and I slept. I think I got up once in the night, but other than that, I like slept through. So for me, that's really, really good. But energy today has still been really, really low. So that's annoying, but it's what it is. The weekend is almost here. It's Friday tomorrow. Had some fun today planning out some higher frequency stuff. Still in a bit of a rabbit hole on that. Mentioned in the last couple of videos. But obviously more to come on that in the future if I do decide to do it. But basically, yeah, I want to come on and just kind of say, I don't think I'm going to get my steps in this week, which, to be honest, over the weekend, I could definitely get some extra in. I've got like a couple of things I have to do at the weekend, but nothing that's going to take too much time. So we will see. I'm not completely giving up hope right now, but I do feel that my average is still probably going to struggle to get much above 10,000 this week. And I think because my body weight has shot up this week, I'm struggling with that mentally a little bit. Not the body weight shooting up, because I'm still like mid 85s on a heavy week is very good for me. But I think because it's just shot up so much from last week, plus the fact that it's just so hot here and I'm struggling with getting my overall movement in, it just felt like it was probably something worth talking through in a video. But I think I'll do like 20 minutes of steps just while I get my video edited and uploaded ready for tomorrow. But yeah, we're not gonna be where we want to be. But honestly, in this heat, I'm just gonna give myself some grace. It is what it is. I'm still moving. I'm still doing what I can, which is the most important thing. But also, I need some sleep. This is the other thing as well, because I'm home alone tonight. I need to make sure the puppy is tired before she goes to bed. So I'm going to have to let her out for around an hour before I actually go to bed. So if it's now like, 20 past 8 nearly, if I want to get in bed in good time and showered and everything, I'm going to have to get her out pretty soon. The only other thing to update, guys, is I'm not an anxious person. I don't struggle with anxiety, never have, very grateful for that. But obviously everyone struggles from feeling somewhat anxious at times, right? I have been getting these weird, like, paranoid moments recently of, like, just, like, things happening that aren't going to happen or probably aren't going to happen, but then I just start worrying about them and then I can't stop thinking about it, and it's just making me, like, somewhat anxious. One big thing recently with all, like, the wildfires throughout the UK, like, the crazy number of them we've had this year, I live right near a big woodland area. And it's been really dry in there recently, like obviously expected. And when I was walking around the other day, there was a fire engine like circling the entire woodland. Like when I got to the other end of the woods, like when I went in the woods, they were in where the entrance is. And then when I got to the other side, they'd like done a loop and were like circling it. And part of me was like, wonder what that's all about. And then today, so basically since then, I've been paranoid that we're going to have some kind of wildfire right in my house. As I was leaving the city today, I see a massive load of smoke in the air, very thick smoke in the air. And I get paranoid, of course, because my brain was being somewhat irrational, although it turns out it wasn't being irrational because the woodland by my house had actually been on fire. They have contained it all now. And thankfully, it was the other side to where we live. And it was actually, I think it was fairly central looking at what's online. So it wasn't actually near anyone's houses, which is obviously great. But they have contained it, so it's all okay. But that's not what I want to happen. I feel like when I have like what I would class as irrational thoughts, irrational fears, they always seem to come true. And then that makes me think, oh, well, I'm obviously, not being irrational after all. And then I start to worry about something even bigger and even bigger. And Yum, I don't want to live like that. So anyway, bit of news there. Anyway, gonna stop talking. I will check in with you guys on Saturday. It is Saturday evening, it's 7:15. I'm only now at here to train, but had a good day. I got up about 7 with the dogs. Just got loads of housework done for the first few hours of the day, went on a nice dog walk, had to pop out midday for about an hour, and then came home, had some lunch. And I may have fallen asleep on the sofa for like 3 hours, but I am definitely still catching up on sleep from when we got Azula. Even before we got her, my sleep was really broken and I was struggling with sleep quite a bit. And I feel like I haven't quite played catch up with that yet. So I'm quite happy I had that nap today because I definitely feel miles better for it. Like I think had I tried to force myself to train this afternoon instead of having that nap, I would have ended up kind of regretting it and actually really struggling to get through the session. Whereas now I feel kind of ready to train. All I have left to do today is to take Zuko, our dog, on one more walk. So I'll do that once I finish training before I kind of get myself kind of tucked in, ready for the night. So not mad at that, feeling pretty good. Overall, it's been a good day, feeling very relaxed and kind of wanting to train. It's not too long of a session today. So I've got primary squats, I've got a top single, which is just light at 170 into 3x6, around 150 kilos is kind of the rough range. And then I've got comp bench, top double, 1x5, slightly heavier, and then 3x5 at 7.5. So pretty comfortable. And then just pause sumo 4x2 at 140. I'm sticking that with 140 every week of this 3-week block to see how I find that rather than putting the load up on that, because I seem to find like week 2 deadlifts feel better than week 3 the last couple of 3-week blocks I've done. So I think maybe capping that at like 140 to 145 on those pause deadlifts might be good for now. And then over time, just slowly kind of push those up. But yes, that's the plan for today's session. I'm feeling a little bit frustrated on the cut front simply because this week my weight has sat heavier. Now I did go out for dinner Thursday night and I knew that that was planned about a month ago. I always knew that was going to happen, but because my body weight was so low last week, like last weekend I was 84.5 on Saturday, 84.9 on Sunday, and then my weight shot up on Monday to 85.7 and it was like high 85s all week. So I haven't actually weighed myself since that meal because quite frankly I knew it had bloated up and it was just going to annoy me. But I weigh myself in the morning and just kind of see where we're at. But I'm expecting like mid to high 85s at least, which is frustrating because this week I've been more locked in other than that one meal than I was last week. Last week it was my annual leave. My steps were a little bit down, which to be fair, I'll go on to steps in a moment because they're also not where I want them to be this week. My steps were down last week. It was annual leave. I spent most of the day on the sofa, kind of with the dogs. Sleep was terrible. Nutrition wasn't awful, but there were a couple of days where I was like 500 calories over, 600 calories over, I think one of the days. So like last week I wasn't as locked in. My body weight still fell off. And then this week it's almost like, I guess the best way to explain it is there's like a bit of a delay. And I found this before when it came to increasing my steps. Like there's usually like a week kind of delay for my body to kind of catch up with what's going on. I think also because I've been back at work this week, I essentially have just been a little bit more stressed, a little bit more uptight, a little bit less kind of relaxed and calm, which obviously won't be helping either because I know my body doesn't respond great to stress. And usually there is a little bit of a shoot up on the scales from that. Not that I've been particularly stressed this week. Like for a first week back to work, I haven't had an overwhelming amount of workload to get through. Like it's been pretty manageable because I got so much done before I was off. But it's just annoying because I know this week my average weight will be up. But realistically, it's probably only up about half a kilo, which is what, just over a pound, which is literally nothing when you put it into perspective. So it is what it is, and I'm still just going to continue. The good news is when I looked at the forecast, I think it was last night, the heat wave seems to be disappearing, and all of next week the temperature is low 20s at the highest. There's even some teens in there, which means I can get lots of steps in outdoors with my dog and actually just get my steps up where I want them to be, which I'm really looking forward to. I have struggled so much in the heat this year, more than I normally do, and I know it has been hotter than normal anyway, but like really it's just made me not feel good at all. So I'm looking forward to a bit of normality, cooler temperatures. I'm looking forward to feeling cold again. That will be nice. But yeah, even now it's like 20 degrees and I still feel quite like kind of clammy, I guess, but the temperature is now dropping for the evening. So hopefully by the time I go on the dog walk, it'll literally be like 17 degrees at most. And yeah, feeling better for it. And I now need to just lock in with my steps and just stop. I don't want to say stop slacking because I'm not slacking in most aspects. It's just that one thing, and they're still okay, like they're still not stupidly low, they're still high enough that my hamstring issue is feeling better from this week of doing more steps and not sitting down as much and stuff like that. But yeah, just need to get a little bit more strict with myself on that one. But I know I will, and it's not a problem. And to be honest, a heavy week for me being high 85s when I'm like months out of competing is still huge progress on where I've been over the last few years. Like usually a heavy week for me is in the 88s, and now it's in the 85s. Like I think I'm okay with that. Like that's not bad at all when you put it into perspective.
Okay. I see across the room, X marked on the spot, everybody tryna zoom. This is casual, another night with the wolves, but I should be dealing with them, she's a damn professional. Making plays for, don't need to be told, yeah she knows. Got these fellas down bad and everybody else mad. Adrenaline rush, leaving them in the dust, now they converting the stands. The world is in her hands now, she's living in my head rent-free. Burning through my long-term memory. Everybody racing in a Grand Prix. They know if they don't take a chance now, finna stay woke, no sleep. Run it back real slow, is that a win? She's cold as ice, sugar-coated lies with the honey trap eyes. She's dangerous, she's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention. She's dangerous, they wanna get a number on a roulette. Tryna find an opening, roll the dice, cold sweat running down my neck. She be on the next victim, get caught in a web. Got these fellas spending all they got left. She be keeping the score like a follow ratio. Got these fellas praying to the Lord for a glimpse of any hope. She bad, she broke, straight unpredictable, straight irresistible. She got me in a slow. She's living in my head rent-free, burning through my long-term memory. Everybody racing in a Grand Prix. They know if they don't take a chance now, finna stay woke, no sleep. Run it back real slow, is that a win? She's cold as ice, sugar-coated lies with the honey trap eyes. She's dangerous, she's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention.
Okay, so I literally just finished my session. I've just popped in because I need to just let Azula out to the toilet before I take Zuko on a walk to wrap up the day. It is about 9:10. So my session took me a while. I wasn't rushing through it. I kind of just took my time. I will say I am pretty happy. Squats definitely felt better than they have done for a while. Still didn't feel amazingly strong, but definitely better than they have done the last few weeks, which tells me that obviously this prioritizing my recovery and just kind of getting back into normal routine, getting over illness and everything is obviously paying off, as you would expect. Bench, I was really happy with. Warming up didn't feel incredibly strong, but when I got to like 100 and 105 for my last warm-ups, actually it felt really good and I went to 110, which was like top end of the range for today. And I was really nervous for it. I was overthinking it for sure, but it moved really comfortably. So I'm very happy with that. And then deadlifts just felt supernatural, like super natural, which is great. Sumo's definitely coming along really, really well right now. I do think moving my primary to midweek has definitely helped with that a lot. And even like, usually if I was doing my primary lifts this late in the evening on a weekend, I would kind of be dreading it. Obviously today there was reasons for it, like I needed the nap this afternoon. But I think I've kind of accepted today that I generally feel better training in the evenings anyway, especially when I have squats. I think like super productive me feels like I need to get my training done as early as possible so that I can then kind of get the rest of my work done and log off in a good time and just have everything wrapped up so that I still get a few hours kind of before I then go to bed. But realistically, powerlifting is still my hobby. Doing it in the evenings is fine. And I have more food in my system, but especially while I'm in this deficit, when it gets to like 7 p.m. and then I can just squat then and feel bigger and feel stronger and more solid under the bar. So I do think potentially I'm going to train more in the evenings anyway and just stop putting pressure on myself to get everything done earlier in the day, I think. But yeah, I felt really good training tonight. I enjoyed it as well. I kind of felt like with the music on in the background and stuff, I managed to just kind of forget what I was kind of doing and just kind of get into the session a little bit more, which is great. And that's hopefully going to continue onwards. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Next week is a heavy week of training. So next week is technically like the end of my first 3-week block of this 6-week macro. It's nothing heavy still, to be fair. And to be honest, I probably won't go a lot heavier than I did this week just because I don't need to force it right now. And actually the biggest thing right now, especially with bench and deadlifts, I can push those and I'm not worried. It's more squats that I'm talking about here. But I just know that with my squats, I'm better off going a little bit lighter and just getting my movement pattern feeling fantastic again. I do think I need more frequency on squats. I think I need an extra day a week of squatting now, and just generally more volume throughout the week and more work throughout the weeks. But I don't know whether I'm going to put that in after next week and do another. So I've currently planned the 6-week macro, and I am toying with the idea of higher frequency training, which I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, and I've kind of got a rough idea of how I would do it. But what I've actually written down already, my bench and deadlift isn't really changing. It's more just my squat that's changing. So I might even lean into that after this next week of training and kind of go into it then. But I'm undecided on that at the moment. But I do think my squat needs more. My squat has always responded well to more volume and more, not necessarily more frequency, because when I tried 3 days a week before, it didn't actually do really too much for my squat. But I definitely think I'm missing workload in there. And I think the best option for me would probably be an extra day. I also want to add something in. So I currently do my leg press or pendulum squat, which I think I'm going to switch back to pendulum squat. I've been doing leg press for a good few weeks now. I like to have a sleeveless accessory, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, partly for knee health. It also just really helps me, to be honest, I can't be bothered to take my knee sleeves to the gym with me anyway when I do my accessories, which is the real reason why I've never worn knee sleeves for my leg press and things. But I like, it helps me feel better in my knees and everything as well, basically, is the easiest way to explain it. So I am thinking that if I do add an additional squat day or variation in, it will be either completely sleeveless or just in my SBD sleeves. I think rigs really work well for me. There is a chance they're getting banned at the end of this year, and this is kind of the talking point that a lot of people have been going through recently. I'm not reacting until the news is here kind of thing, because even if they do get banned at the end of the year, if I do British in December, I'll wear them for that anyway, so I don't really need to stress too much about it, and I'll just adjust once British is done type thing, because I won't be competing again for at least a good few months next year. So what I'm basically thinking is, more from a knee health perspective and just kind of helping with my movement pattern a little bit, it might be beneficial to go into soft sleeves for 1 day a week, but keep my 2 kind of heavier squat days in my rigs for now. But I'm not sure yet. Just some ideas I've kind of been having. But other than that, guys, there's no real news. I'm feeling good. That was a good session. I really enjoyed it. I need to go on a nice long walk now. I fear the dogs are outside digging. I had such a deep clean of this house today because they just keep bringing mud in. And I've literally just wiped mud off of my sofa because they brought more in. But it's part of having dogs. They're having a good time. That's what matters. But keeping the house clean is now an absolute mission. Also, I feel like while I'm in the living room, I had some friends over yesterday, kind of one of my best friends I grew up with, and they don't live in this area anymore, and they've bought a house kind of up north recently. We kind of made me feel so old. We were just talking about decorating the houses and how they've decorated theirs and how we've decorated ours. And we've got white walls throughout the entire house just because it's probably not our forever home. We're probably not going to live here forever. I'd rather just decorate it with things that are like easy to move with us type thing if we do move again. And I just thought plain walls because it's such a light house. Like obviously it's nighttime at the moment, so you can't really tell. We've got massive windows either side of the house. There's sun in the house like all day. Like even in the winter, the house is super bright during daytime. I was like, let's lean into that and let's make the walls nice and white and just make it look like a big, nice, light kind of summery room, right? Or house. But we were talking about the colour drenching that everyone's been doing, and I was like, I'm tempted to just kind of paint everything bright colours. Not necessarily bright colours, but colours, and just really, because it's such a light house, I'm like, if I did like a nice, maybe like a dark green or a deep red all over the walls, including the ceiling, I don't know. But also I really hate decorating, so if I start this, I'm going to have to do every single room because I can't have some rooms white and some rooms really colourful, and obviously have different colours throughout the house. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking this, and then we were talking about the prospect of just hiring a decorator to do it, and I was like, I don't like spending money, guys. If I hired a decorator to do something that I am capable of doing myself, I think I would hate myself for it, so probably not going to do that. But yeah, that's not relevant to this channel or what my videos are about, but if anyone on here loves decorating and has some suggestions on what I should do, please feel free to let me know, because I think I need a project at the moment. I mean, I don't need a project. I have enough stuff going on, but part of me feels like I need a house project because we were going to get the kitchen done and then get all of the flooring replaced throughout the entire house. However, because we've got Azula, we're going to delay that. My dad's doing the kitchen anyway, so there's no real rush to get that done because he'll just come and do it for us when he gets some time. But Huskies are destructive. Zuko is an angel, which is why we figured we could probably get it done now. But I suspect that she's not going to be the same, and she may grow up to be a bit more destructive over the next few years. So we might be delaying the kitchen on that front, which means I need something else. I need something else to do. Anyway, I think that's my cue to feed Azula and take Zuko on a walk. Thank you very much. If you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in a few days for the next one, which I'm going to attempt to do a full day in the life because I've not done one for a few weeks. I want to start doing more vlog content throughout the day.
And they trying their luck, trying luck. They really wanna be the one she loves, but there she goes breaking all of these hearts. Can't see